Entrepreneurial Edge is brought to you by Business Banking from FNB, because small ideas can lead to big business. FNB, how can we help you?
Welcome back to the Entrepreneurial Edge. I'm Chris Bishop. Now, if you have any comments and suggestions on the show, please send me an email to entrep@abn360.com. Now, still in the studio with me, I have Sally Jarlett-Joy, the founder of the Sandwich Baron. So we've talked about how you started out this business, and now it's become a multi-million-dollar concern. But I mean, the competition must be intense. Every time I walk around, I see a new outlet, a new type of food. And price now is a big thing. Everywhere seems cheaper than the rest. How tough is it?
I think we've been faring well. You know, our turnovers have been at least 1 million or 2 million up on the year before, with the more or less the same number of stores. Look, anyone who is open and serving food in the lunchtime trade are our competitors. But I don't really think that they've affected us. We don't actually have any competition in the sandwich business per se. So I look at everyone in competition. I try not to go the cheap route because I want fair profits for my franchisees. You know, sometimes giving away food, it can sort of eat into your margins, and people can be affected.
And how hard was the credit crunch for you?
Okay, in the first part of the year, we really did battle. Sort of January hit, and I wondered what was going on. And I thought, well, maybe that's January. February was no better. March, April, May. By the time it came to May and June, I thought, we've got a real problem.
Really?
And by the end of June, I decided I'm not having a recession anymore. So I did a lot of research on the internet as to marketing ideas. And I promoted our platter side of our business quite extensively. And immediately by the end of July, we could see that we were back on the up.
I mean, up to then, I mean, what sort of percentage were you think you're losing?
We were down a lot. I would say at least 30%.
That's
so it was very bad. But because it's the beginning of the year and we do feed the lunchtime trade, we weren't too sure what was happening, you know, whether people had spent all their money over Christmas and were going to spend all their money over Easter. But by the end of May, we could see that there was a serious problem.
And what about this theory of the credit crunch that people were like not going to restaurants anymore because they couldn't afford it, and they were going to takeaway places instead? And do you think that holds water?
Yes, I think definitely the restaurants are suffering. If you go and look at the restaurants at night, they are not the customers they used to be. But I think in the sandwich business, we do have reasonably priced sandwiches for people who don't have a lot of money, and I don't think it has really affected us. But certainly I think fast food is even becoming a luxury as well because of the high prices of food.
And what about the financing of your company? I mean, how has that been as you've grown down the years?
Okay, look, we've had a lot of support from the banks. Basically, I like potential franchisees to have at least 50% of the franchise price, because I don't like them to have very big loans. Some franchisees do accept less. But I think with 50%, it's not too much loan. Being a member of the Franchise Association, we do have the support from the banks. But funnily enough, in the last couple of years, a lot of people have been retrenched. So most of our sales for the franchises have been cash buyers.
Have you not found the sort of strings tightening a little bit when it comes to borrowing in recent years?
I think the borrowing has come back. Like I said, I think people got packages when they were retrenched, and that in the last couple of years. But in the last couple of months, I have had more people wanting to apply for finance. And I think the banks are open to accepting people with a clean credit record and a good track record.
Now, you've taken this business from basically your kitchen table and 5,000 rand into this massive turnover business. Were there any bad days where you wanted to pack it all in? I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs on this program say, yes, every day, but you're not allowed to say that. Well, what was the worst day, you think, for you?
Look, I think there's been a lot of problems. You know, number one was when I started my restaurant, I was only 26 and I didn't have any food background. And I employed 18 kitchen staff, and I thought that they could just get on with it. And my dad suggested to me that I go and watch the kitchen. But they were all shouting in Zulu. I didn't have a clue what they were doing or saying. And then I told him I didn't know what I was looking for. But after about 6 months, then I realized that everything that was going wrong was my fault. And once I took hold of it, then it became better. You know, there's also been days in Sandwich Baron when I started Sandwich Baron, and I've had no drivers whatsoever. And it's very difficult when you're running a delivery business.
And what do you do then? Because I mean, people say, "Look, I'm sorry, I want my sandwich. I'm sorry for you," but what do you actually do?
Well, in those days, I had a very good friend of mine who used to work for me as a waitress at the restaurant, and she had actually stopped working for me, and she was sitting at home. And I rang her and I said to her, "Can you please come and help me? I've got no drivers." So she said, "No, I'm doing my washing." So I said, "You don't understand. I've got no drivers, and it's end of the month. I'm very, very busy. I need your help." She said, "I'm doing my washing." Anyway, she never came to help me. And later she asked me if she could have a job back. So being an old friend, I said, sure. I said, "But I want to know why you didn't help me that day." She said, "What goes around comes around." But, you know, in Sandwich Baron, you do have variables, like your driver will be in an accident. And the customers, they don't understand that you can't deliver. If you tell people, "Look, I can't deliver," or there'll be a long wait, they say, "Okay, I'll order and I don't mind waiting." I can promise you, within 10 minutes, they'll be on the phone, "Where's my order?" So, you know, that the delivery side can be a problem.
I mean, what would you say that you've learned from what is it, nearly 16 years now of running your own business that would be useful for people out there watching who are entrepreneurs or who want to be entrepreneurs? I mean, what advice would you give them?
Okay, look, I think the biggest thing that you need in life is, first of all, you've got to believe that you're not going to fail. If you believe that you're going to fail, then you surely will. So first of all, there's no such thing as going bust. You must have that. Okay. Secondly, you need to build up a good relationship with your staff. The biggest problem that I see, even within my franchisees, is that people don't know how to handle staff. You know, staff, they should all be treated the same with respect. If you can get respect of your staff, then you'll have a really good business. If your staff keep changing all the time, then you're going to go nowhere because you won't have a team. So, you know, I think the biggest thing is believing in yourself. And if you want to do it, go and do it. Don't. It's not a matter of having a lot of money. Come up with something, you know, even if you have to hire something to do it. You know, it's also like I wasn't going to mention this, but I will. When I was in England, to make extra money, we even did window cleaning.
Window cleaning?
Yeah, but we didn't have money to buy a ladder, so we hired one. So, and in the end, that window cleaning round was worth a lot of money. So you just need to start and do something.
But isn't that's one of the great stories of entrepreneurs, is the fact that you know what it's like to be up a ladder on a rainy day, cleaning windows. You know what it's like to get your hands wet and your hands dirty. When you're coming to other people to inspire them in that direction, surely it's a lot easier for you in that way.
Yes, I think so. You know, you've got to be able to do everything yourself. I think that's also part of my success, is because I have successful stores myself. When I used to run my original store in Alberton, I was miles ahead of all my other franchisees. And that was one of the reasons why people didn't want to buy a franchise from me, because I was number one. And my Alberton store is still in the top 3, even though I'm still not there. It's because I still have my staff. I have my original staff who were with me for 16 years. And those staff, they will come in and do anything for you.
I mean, I always say to my young journalists, I say, I would never, ever ask you to do something difficult that I wouldn't do myself. I would do it myself every time. How much of that approach do you employ with your staff?
Yeah, no, I do. I've jumped in, I can mop the floor, I've painted my walls. Okay, I have got halfway when I've decided it's too hot and hired someone else to help with it. But I've been there, I've painted my own store, cleaned my own store, you know, gone that extra mile.
And we're talking about entrepreneurs for the last half an hour. Who's the entrepreneur you think in the world that you would look up to? Who inspires you?
I don't know. I was reading Raymond Ackerman's story, and I quite like what he did with Pick and Pay. So, you know, he inspires me. My sister, she also inspires me, although she thinks of me as her inspiration because I'm her bigger sister. But,
and that's your sister, we should say, is Penny Streeter. She's got her own business in London.
She's got a big business in the UK, so she inspires me. But yeah, I'm very happy with you know, what my group's achieved. And look, I do owe it to my staff and my franchisees. I have very, very good franchisees. And I think without them, then it's also, you wouldn't be where you are now.
And the future, where are you looking to now?
Okay, I'm looking in the next year to carry on building my brand. I've been doing a lot of advertising. I spend a lot of time working out where we're going to advertise, monitoring turnovers. I intend building the brand, and I intend carrying on putting franchises in South Africa, although I do have trademarks registered in Botswana and the UK. I think a sandwich baron would go great in England as well. I'd like to finish South Africa because my resources are here, and you know, I don't really want to see any other sandwich businesses breaking in, although there always will be competition.
And you reckon there's about another 450 possibly?
Yes, I think we can
alone?
have 450 sandwich barons in South Africa, because although I have the delivery concept which doesn't require a store with high rental, we also have the smaller store that goes in the busy shopping centres, and all those shopping centres I can still put more stores in there.
And the rest of the continent you're looking to spread there maybe someday?
Yes, I'd be looking at Botswana first, and yeah, look, I'd like to tackle the UK probably after Botswana, because I know we'll do well there.
Well, what can I say? Sally Jallet-Joy, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and wish you all the best of luck with the Sandwich Baron and its onward march.
Thank you very much.
For the show. Thanks.
You.
I'm afraid that's all we've got time for this week. Be sure to tune in again next week for another episode of the Entrepreneurial Edge. Until then, from me, Chris Bishop, it's goodbye.